Safeguarding Initiative, CSI Sabah. CSI initiated this forum with support from the Sabah State Library, Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, Sabah Education Department, and Sabah Law Society, SLS. So before we begin our forum, let me share with you a little bit about CSI. It is a collaborative effort by 5 associations based in Sabah: Persatuan Child Sabah, Persatuan Perkhidmatan Taska Sabah, Persatuan Tadika Sabah, Pakostras, and Anak. The CSI, or Child Safeguarding Initiative, was established August 2023 after a viral case of a teacher physically abusing a children, which sparked widespread concern in Sabah, with Sabah ranked as the 3rd highest state in the country for reported child abuse cases. 5 associations joined forces to form these collaborative initiatives. The objectives of CSI is to establish a coordinated approach to develop and implement child safeguarding policies, to raise awareness and promote education, to foster a culture of child protection, and to advocate and policy influence. Before we begin our forum, let me share with you the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. UNCRC is a human rights treaty which sets out the civil, political, social, health, and cultural rights of children who persons below 18 years old. This treaty, ratified by Malaysia in 1995 with reservations. With the ratification of this treaty, UNCRC, our government changes laws and policies related to children in our country. Article 6 of the treaty mentioned that state parties recognize that every child has the inherent right to life and shall ensure the maximum extent possible the survival and development of a child. Rights to protection, which is why we are here today, is one of 4 main categories of children's rights in the treaty. It includes protection from various kinds of abuse and neglect, physical, mental, and sexual. Now, let us welcome our moderator, Ms. Sonia Chin, to the stage. Ms. Sonia Chin is the chairperson of the newly formed Child Safeguarding Initiative I mentioned before, a council dedicated to ensuring the safety and well-being of children. With over 15 years of active involvement in Persatuan Tadika Sabah, she currently serves as the Vice President and having previously held the role of President. Her long-standing dedication to PTS projects and activities has cemented her as a respected leader within the organization. In addition to her role in PTS, Sonia manages a private kindergarten in Kota Kinabalu, where she applies her extensive experience in early childhood education to guide and nurture our young learners. So now it is my pleasure to invite our panelists. The first panelist for today is Cik Nadia Yusof. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. So she is the Deputy Director, Regulatory and Compliance Unit of the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC. She has 16 years experience working in MCMC. She holds a bachelor degree in IT, majoring in multimedia, and is also from Tawau, Sabah. She is representing our MCMC director, Puan Ratnawati, who is unfortunately stuck in the rain and probably fled from temporarily. Okay. So now, let's invite our second panelist, DATIN Mary Florence Gomez. Where is she? She has been practicing as a lawyer for 35 years now, but still looking very young. She is practicing under the firm of Messrs. MG's Legal Chambers. DATIN Mary heads the Women and Child Rights Subcommittee of the Sabah Law Society. She is also a legal advisor of several associations and organizations, and she is the founding member of CRIP, Child Rights Innovation and Betterment Foundation of Malaysia. And now, let's welcome our third panelist, Mr. AZLAN bin Muhammad ZAINAL. He currently serves as a private sector officer at Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Kota Kinabalu and holds Masters in Education Management. With a strong commitment to improving educational outcomes, Mr. AZLAN integrates innovative management strategies to enhance learning environments. Without further ado, I shall pass the mic and the clicker to Sonia.
Thank you so much, Kalista. Good afternoon, everyone. We won't make this such a serious forum, okay? Because firstly, I will thank all of you for braving the weather and coming despite the heavy rain. So give yourself a clap. And also to those on YouTube and Facebook, we wish you were here, but you are joining us on the Facebook and YouTube. Also give yourself a clap. All right, so before we start, I just want to explain a bit further about our topic so that we are all on the same page. Yeah? So, oops, what did I do? So, social media. You hear this word, kan? Do you know what is social media? If you look at the screen, do you recognize any of this logo? You can, right? Can you live without any one of these? In today's age, we tend to rely, we need all this to live our life, right? This morning, I tried to pump petrol with my credit card with Wave, right? And to my surprise, there's no facility for the Wave. They said, you need to download the Shell app. I'm like, huh? I need pump petrol, so I need the app already now. So slowly, social media and all these apps are taking over our lives, yeah. So today we are talking about social media and child safeguarding. Oops. So what is child safeguarding? We know child means a child is any person under the age of 18, according to the UNCRC. Okay, so safeguarding means to protect from harm or damage with an appropriate measure. So when we put these few words together, child safeguarding on social media, so we understand we are protecting children from harm or damage on social media. So you're all on the same page now? Okay, so today we are talking about social media and the dangers and the risks it can have for our children if not managed well. All right, so what are our roles and responsibilities as educators? Some of you are educators here. Some of you are involved with institutions involving children. So what are our responsibilities, our legal responsibilities as an adult in safeguarding children on social media? Okay, so that is our topic for today. So, to start us off as our first speaker, okay, before I go to that, I just explain a few more things. What are some of the dangers of posting photos of your children online? Okay, this is a very simple thing that we tend to do all the time, right? Take a picture, you want to make a memory in Facebook. We take a picture and we post it up in Facebook, and we never think about in 10 years' time or 20 years' time, would there be any repercussions of my actions on my child or the children that of the photo that I send up there? Okay, so the first, where am I? Okay, the first picture here, there's no such thing as private. Although we can put in the Facebook, right, setting private. But Facebook tends to keep changing all the setting and then ask you to click here. After a while, I got confused. What am I doing? So I thought I'm private, but at the end, maybe I end up not being private. And also a friend who could have access to that photo can actually screenshot your photo, right? And they can share it on their own social media. So what happens to your private photo now? Is it private anymore? No, right? The next one, digital kidnapping. Right, you can kidnap a person, that's a physical kidnap. But when it comes to digital kidnapping, have you had your identity kidnapped? Suddenly somebody is posing as you and then calling up somebody else and saying they need money, but actually it's not you. Did they kidnap your identity? Yes. This is one of the danger, yeah? The next one, of course, sexual exploitation. When children have access to online games or social media, they are also open for online predators looking for an opportunity. Okay? The next one, emotional harm. What does it mean? Today, I may take a picture of my child. He ate his porridge or soup and I mess up the whole place. His hair got noodles. The body got everywhere got noodles. I think this is a very cute photo. I take a photo. I post it on my Facebook page. 30 years later, this photo is still there. If my daughter wants to go and apply for a job and then they go Google the name, come up this photo, I wonder if she feel embarrassed or not. What do you think? She may come after me and say, Mom, why you post this photo? It's so embarrassing. Okay, so it can cause some emotional harm to children. Did I ask permission from my daughter whether I can put her photo in my Facebook page? No. I just did it because I'm the parent. But I need to think ahead. Is it causing my child emotional harm in future? Right? The next one, metadata. What is this? You know, with the new artificial intelligence, AI, when you take a photo and you post it, it can tell you where this photo is taken, what time is taken, and who is the person, the name of the person standing next to you. Can ga? Can, right? This is the intelligence we are living in now. Right? Dangerous or not? Is it dangerous? Do you feel scared? Next time you post the picture, you think first, right? Okay, so it can identify where you're having your holiday. That means your house is empty. What could happen? There are quite a lot of repercussions after this, right? The next one, online permanence. So when you post a photo online in social media, before you post it, the photo belongs to you because it's on your phone. But after you post it, does it still belong to you? Who does it belong to? Anybody can, if like say Facebook, you've ticked there, allow Facebook to use my photo, it also belongs to Facebook now. I'm not putting down Facebook, but I mean, this is something all of us open almost every day, kan? All right, so the last one, lack of legislation. Do we have too little? Or do we have regulations for sharing photos online? Or perhaps we do have rules, but it is not effectively enforced. So there's this, give you some thoughts in your mind about safety on social media now. A very simple act, post photos. You're not even typing anything about yourself. You just one photo. All right? So today we are very fortunate to have three very expert speakers in this field. Not expert, but they have more to share than I would. So I hope today we can have a good discussion. And if you do have any questions for those here, please feel free to ask in the Q&A session later. Okay? Don't malu-malu, yeah? All right, so our first speaker is Cik Nadia from MCMC. So if you are, MCMC stands for Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission. All right, so actually in September this year, MCMC has announced, its Minister Fahmi Fadzil has announced that a proposal will be submitted to authorities to curb manipulation or abuse related to images or videos of minors. And they also did propose that children under the age of 13 are not allowed to have a social media account. Okay, agree or not agree, it is still in discussion. So today, Cik Nadia, could you please share with us what is the role of MCMC and perhaps also some statistics on online cases? And also there is this thing called OSHA, which is Online Child Sexual Exploitation and Abuse, which recently, not recently, 2 years ago, there's a report that's been published by UNICEF about a study research they've carried out. And from this research, at least 4% of internet using children aged 12 to 17 in Malaysia was subject to 4 clear examples of OSIA, which include offering money or gift to share sexual images of themselves, offer money or gift to engage in sexual acts in person, sexual extortion, and also non-consensual sharing of their sexual images. All right, so I just hand it over to Cik Nadia to share with us some statistics and also what is MCMC's role, and paint for us, you know, what is actually happening in Malaysia now. Over to you.
Assalamualaikum. Selamat petang semua. Sejuk. Hello. Okay. Actually, I'm not ready to give any comments because I heard there's a live. Who's viewing the YouTube and kinagawi? Okay, then should be okay lah. Sebab we are worried because we are not allowed to give any comments on public. Yes.
For the safety of our officers, we will not make it available after the forum. That means after forum, it will be like taken.
Oh, okay. And then should be okay.
For so that it's not like accessible for anybody anytime lah.
Okay. Then I'm okay. So actually, saya can I in Malay? Yes, sebab saya prepare this slide in Malay, so I just speak in Malay. Boleh kan? Semua boleh faham bahasa Melayu bahkan? Okay, terbaik. So MCMC adalah satu badan satu badan berkanun yang diperbadankan di bawah Akta Suruhanjaya Komunikasi dan Multimedia 1998. So kami ni sudah berumur lebih kurang dalam 20 tahun ke atas lah kan, MCMC. Okey. Untuk child online punya sexual eksploitasi ataupun exploitation on child, we actually di Malaysia memang ada terima aduan dari segi eksploitasi terhadap kanak-kanak. Kita pergi next slide. So as you can boleh tengok daripada statistik ni, ini daripada 2023 hingga 2024 sehingga 16 Oktober. Boleh tengok negeri yang paling tinggi yang membuat aduan lah, saya panggilkan membuat aduan, tengok Selangor. Tapi tengok di Sabah, satu saja. So maksudnya saya tidak pasti kenapa. Ada kemungkinan parents tidak tahu ataupun parents malu ataupun mereka tidak mau war-warkan lah. Kebiasaannya kita tahu lah. Boleh nampak kan di situ. Dan hanya pada 2023. Saya ada berapa minit? 15 minit. Kalau saya boleh ceritalah. Untuk tahun 2024 kami terima walk-in aduan di Sabah. Ada terima 2 aduan, statistik di sinilah, terima 2 aduan. Yang senarionya lebih kurang beginilah. Mangsa berumur di antara 14 sehingga 16 tahun. Seorang perempuan yang mana mereka ni bercinta, berkenal, suka sama suka dan bersetuju untuk melakukan hubungan seksual dan bersetuju juga untuk video itu diambil bersama-sama. So bila berlaku pergaduhan di antara boyfriend girlfriend lah kan, si pelaku mengugut kepada yang perempuan ni lah, mangsa perempuan kan, mengugut, sekiranya kau putus dengan saya akan sebarkan kau punya video ni kepada your family. Berlaku penyebaran tersebut. Tetapi bila berlaku penyebaran tu, mangsa rasa macam tertekan, akibat tertekan, dia datang ke MCMC. Dia tidak pergi kepada polis dulu, dia pergi kepada MCMC sebab dia berfikiran MCMC boleh padamkan video yang mereka ambil tu, yang sudah ada di dalam simpanan si pelaku. So, MCMC tidak ada keupayaan untuk memadamkan video yang ada dengan si pelaku itulah, kecuali video itu ada di depan kami boleh delete lah macam tu. So bila ditanya parents, dia datang bersama parents dia. Kami nasihatkan untuk buat aduan ini kepada PDRM di 11 bahagian siasatan jenayah seksual wanita dan kanak-kanak lah. Tapi mereka punya tuntutan saya mau hanya video itu dipadamkan. Satu lagi, dia tidak mau parents tu tidak mau siasatan itu dijalankan. So boleh nampaklah daripada statistik ni, berdasarkan cerita saya juga, kenapa tiada aduan tu mungkin disebabkan ibu bapa tu sendirilah. Dan kami di MCMC sekiranya ada aduan yang di bawah umur, memang kami RLA kepada D11 PDRM. Boleh saya next slide? Next slide ni saya kena minta semua yang ada di sini dan juga yang live di sana, cuba tengok video ni dan observe apa yang kita boleh observe daripada video ni lah. Boleh ya? mungkin you guys can think of apa yang from that video, apa kesalahan yang boleh yang berlaku lah, yang boleh menyebabkan si penjenayah itu mengambil maklumat daripada kita. Tidak privacy, share teks oleh mendedahkan nama sebenar, umur, hobi, activities. Gambar begitu pun boleh menarik perhatian this pedofil. Lokasi rumah ni paling bahaya. Ada siapa-siapa pernah share? Kenapa semua terus senyap ni? Macam semua pun berdebar-debar macam saya. Kan? Macam ada sesuatu yang tersembunyi di sebalik itu. So, as a parents, boleh capture ni untuk inilah kawal anak-anak punya penggunaan telefon, kan? Nanti I can just share the slide. That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cik Nadia. Quite scary, huh? That video. I think all of you checking your phone. Did you turn off your location? Yeah, but this is happening every second in Malaysia. We don't know how many predators are out there, but they are looking, they are looking for any opportunities they can have and compiling all this. So this is very dangerous. And in Malaysia, as you can see, it's gone up 300% kan, in the last 5 years. I wonder why. Are we giving the phone to the child too early and giving them access to all of this? Okay, or are we the one that is posting and putting them in danger? So as just now the statistic, Sabah only one. Yeah, you can look at it two ways. Wow, Sabah very good now. Only got one case. Or the other thought is there could be so many out there we don't know, right? So how can we report? I am aware that there is a link that you can click and then do an online report. If you want to like make a aduan, yeah, you have to go to MCMC or do you have to go to police first?
Police.
So we have to report to police.
Police, yes.
Then only go to MCMC.
No, police.
Just go to police.
Yeah, they will forward it to D11.
Okay.
Yes.
Perhaps you can explain a bit on D11.
Bahagian siasatan, it's under PDRM punya jurisdiction. D11 is bahagian siasatan jenayah seksual wanita and kanak-kanak. Yeah.
Okay, Datin Mary said she will cover that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So thank you, Cik Nadia. So then we better quickly go to our second speaker, Datin Mary. She is a lawyer, right? So she knows the law, and she can explain it to us so that we can understand how the law works and how we can use this law to protect the children in this area of online exploitation and abuse. Yeah. So, do we have good laws in place? Are they working well for us, for our children, or is there something that is a gap there? So, Datin Mary, can I pass it over to you?
Thank you, Sonia. So I'm supposed to talk on the legal responsibilities that each of us have. Nowadays, everywhere you go, most of the children are having a tablet sitting on the table. Most of them are with a tablet or a phone. That's how parents, that's their pacifier now. So it's very important that all of us be educated on safeguarding these children. I think Kalista just now touched on the definition of a child, but I have gone into more detail. Most of the acts define a child as being 18 years and below, except the Adoption Act, I think, which I have not put there, that is 21 years and below. For minimum age of criminal responsibility, it's above 10 years old. And the rest of the acts and all which are related to children, the main one is, of course, the Sexual Offences Act against Children. And the MCMC Act to Section 233 will also apply. And then the Personal Data Protection Act, which requires the consent of the parents when you use the personal data of the child. Even a photograph. I think most of you here are childcare educators. So some of you will use photographs of the children. Actually, you need the consent of the parents before you use these photographs. Okay, as I said earlier, the Child Care Act is the main act for children in Malaysia. And then you have the Sexual Offences Act and the Child Weakness Act, which gives special treatment to children. And the MCMC Act bans offensive communication. Okay, the Evidence Act gives special protection to children. Children can give evidence by video instead of coming in person, or they can be in a special room in the court itself and give evidence. So if you find any of these children who are frightened to come forward, you can actually tell them this. Actually, our KK courthouse has 2 special rooms for children to give evidence from. I think some of the parents are also concerned about this, to meet the perpetrator in court. So there's no fear of that. In KK court itself, we have that. Okay, now the question that Sonia asked earlier, are current laws sufficient to protect our children from exploitation on social media? Actually, they are. Like, for example, the Child Act, it requires mandatory reporting of child abuse, including online exploitation. And the welfare officers must ensure that this child receives proper care and the appropriate reporting mechanism is adhered to. The various sections are stated there. And other professionals are also required to report instances, such as doctors, who are medical officers, or even the private sector doctors have to report, family members, and of course, you people, child care providers. I'm sure you would notice some children coming to school, and they usually will warm up to you because you're there with them every day. So I suppose you have to be more observant. And if you fail to report, there is a penalty for you. You can be fined 5,000 or imprisonment of 2 years or both. So, I mean, people should take this seriously by reporting. But under the MCMC Act, there is no mandatory reporting. Puan? For MCMC, there is no mandatory reporting. So even if you see something, there is no obligation on you to report. Okay, the Sexual Offences Act, I'll go more into it later, pertains to media reporting and publication involving children. This is also very sensitive. So you have to be, reporters, any reporters here? None? Have to be careful as well. They can also be fined. Then, of course, as I said earlier, Evidence Act 2001 is there especially for the children. They will make the hearings all child-friendly, pre-record testimonies from children, and even judges can interfere with defense counsels when they, they badger the children with questions, they can also stop them. The judges have the power to stop them. So I think parents have to be educated on this. Most of them fear coming forward because they don't want to put their child through this trauma. Okay, this is what I said, section 15. Maybe I give life example, baru we can all relate. The reason one is the reporting of a 12-year-old boy who was driving a Perodua Viva. They even give the location where he was, Puchong, Selangor. The Taman was also going viral. And this woman was talking to him inside the car while taking the video. He was charged under 39(1) of the Road Transport Act in August this year. So all this was viral. And in the beginning, when I saw the video, the boy's photo could even be seen. So, that's bad for him. And this is wrong. Actually, the person who took this video should be charged, but I think nothing happened to her, but the boy is charged. Yeah. And then this 14-year-old girl who posed as a doctor, they give the name of the hospital, Sultan Idris Shah Hospital, Serdang. This was reported in the papers. She was also charged on August 8th and released on bail on the 10th of August. Her reason is she wanted medical attention. So being a staff member, she would get medical attention faster. Yeah, so she wanted to go on the fast track. And these are children, 12, 14. So they are not accountable for, of course they are criminally liable over the age of 10, but we should be there for them. Okay, children are not, like I said, children are not fully accountable for their actions, but media portrayal of these two children, for example, will actually impact them maybe, Sonia, in 10 years' time, because their photo is all over the place. So it's not good that, this happened to them. So journalists must be careful as well. They can be charged under section 15(3) of the Act and liable for a fine of 10,000 or 5 years imprisonment. So media education is important, I think. They are the ones who are reporting all these incidences. So maybe your next target would be the media. Maybe they should be here as well. Okay, then, of course, when I was preparing for this talk, I went to look for cases and all, but not many there, except one reported case. But, of course, recently, again, there was this unacceptable behavior by the school bus driver. Do you all remember that? Yeah, Abang Bas, yeah. He posted these images and videos of children in his bus. And he also, the faces were also clearly visible. And he had these words such as, they are his crush and beloved there. Of course, the parents made a police report. I think 2 parents made a police report. His age only 24 and confiscated his phone. He was investigated under the Sexual Offences Act, Child Act, and the MCMC Act. This is an example where all 3 acts were used to charge him. And I think he's out on bail now, but the bail amount is like 40,000. So, simple thing like that cost him a lot of trouble. So people should know this, huh? And of course, the minister also responded that his actions are not acceptable and all that. And the case is still pending trial. We don't know how it will go because it's so recent. There's another case which was decided in 2024. This accused was charged under the Sexual Offences Act for child pornography. The victim was 12 years old. This is in 2019. She met him via a live streaming platform called Bigo. I also just know it when I read this case. And of course, later on, they communicated by WhatsApp. The accused, of course, pleaded ignorance of her age because she said online that she's 19. And he was found guilty of all counts and sentenced to 13 years in prison and 3 strokes of rotan. But sadly, this is the only case I can find. There are no other reported cases. It seems this case went to trial and all that because the parents were pushing it. Even the bus driver case, because of the parents, it's moving forward, and the cases going viral. So I think we don't want to wait until the cases go viral, then only everyone takes action. We should take action beforehand. Okay, these cases that I've quoted highlight the urgent need for awareness and stricter measures to protect these children. Don't wait sampai viral baru kami bertindak. Okay. Now the next one is the key issues is enforcement. I think the law is there, but enforcement is the problem. From my research, I understand that enforcement personnel lack the adequate training, knowledge of the law, and of course, passion. So you must get people who are really there with passion to act for these young children. And of course, the reporting procedure must be made simple and accessible. Like I said earlier, only when things go viral, baru we move. If not, it's there in the background. Of course, just now you mentioned, Sonia, OCCEA, yeah, helpline. They have a helpline. Of course, the first thing everyone should do is to file a police report, as Puan said earlier. Even if you want MCMC to take action, you still have to file a police report. And most people are not aware of the special court. Again, I point out, this special court exists to handle sexual crimes against children. Okay, now advice to parents and educators. Parents, like Sonia said earlier, always share photos online. And if parents share, like you share your son's or daughter's picture, it's permissible because she is the parent and she is sharing it. However, like teenagers nowadays, if you share the photo, people can contact your teenage daughter who is under 19 through social media, and you risk her well-being and safety as well. Because like Puan's video just now, so location and all, yeah. So, you know, people can, so you have to be careful of what we post, parents included. And then nowadays in Sabah especially, you notice that a lot of relatives post pictures of missing children on Facebook. You notice that? And I think this is done without parental consent. And recently, one picture of a special needs child was posted, and from the comments, I could see that he was seen somewhere. Someone saw him, and you know, anything can happen to him. Because you are posting his picture, he was seen somewhere in ITCC, going into some place. So people can do anything to them because they know that this person is out there wandering aimlessly. Yeah. And they know what they look like, and they can even be kidnapped. So relatives, especially siblings, I notice siblings post a lot of pictures of their missing relatives, and this is, I'm sure, without the parents' consent, which can be very dangerous. And then I think, as I told Sonia earlier, you're all childcare providers, but what is happening most is among the teenagers as well, who are also children in secondary schools. And I think this sort of awareness must be extended to secondary school as well. And she said slowly, but surely, yeah, step by step. Okay, when I was preparing for this talk, I also saw that there were helplines for support, such as Talian Kasih, Cyber 999, and then MCMC also has a reporting portal one. Yeah. And of course, the D11 division that Puan mentioned earlier, they investigate all forms of sexual exploitation of children, online and offline. And they have several units, about 7 units, I think, investigating this type of crimes. And there is also a registry to monitor offenders, which was set up in 2019, but we don't know whether anyone is updating it or not. So despite the advanced technology for monitoring this online media, I heard that this unit faces staffing shortage and lack of training, and this hinders proactive investigation. So they should be given support, I think, more support, psychological as well, because it can be quite draining on them to deal with this type of crimes every day. And I understand that MCMC, Puan, has a dedicated unit for investigation of child online cases. That's what they said when I did my research. Yeah. And also the Ministry of Women, Family and Development, Community Development, they also have assistance online. So I think we have to find all these people lah. Okay, there. As I said earlier, D11 division, the law enforcement unit requires more training in online abuse cases. They need psychological support and awareness of the gaps, Sonia, as you said earlier, that exists between law enforcement and legal standards. Okay, this is another case, Roslan versus Bach. This is a rape case. This is a Sabah, Sandakan case involving a special needs child. This is not an online thing, but I'm just telling you that what pitfalls they face when they're investigating the case. If they don't do it properly, the perpetrator walks away free. So this child is a special needs child. She's mute. She cannot hear and talk. Her key evidence was a brief 10-minute video interview at the police station, the child interview center. And during cross-examination, of course, the defense counsel picked this up and about the integrity of the police interview. They accused the police officer of coaching the child victim. She didn't know how to use sign language, and no experts were called to help her. And when she was asked why no experts were called, she said because the child couldn't understand sign language. But actually, her teacher is the one who reported this matter, and she could have assisted the child. But the teacher was never asked for any help. Only when the judge pointed this out, then this info came out. So the judge noted uncertainty about the victim's responses and whether it was the victim's answer or as suggested by the officer. So the interview, the duration was only 10 minutes. How to get anything out of a child, a special needs child within 10 minutes was a miracle. And she didn't have any expertise in handling special needs children. And because of this, this was also a Baskola case. The person walked away free. So he's still out there lah, trying victims. So in conclusion, I have to say that the laws alone cannot protect the children. You have to have enforcement. And everybody must coordinate. All government agencies must coordinate and raise awareness, provide essential protection, and offer support and resource for victims. But the key word is coordinate. I think there is no coordination between the various departments. That's why we cannot enforce the law as well. And of course, what you're doing is right, Sonia. You're empowering the educators and NGOs to effectively implement and enforce existing laws. Okay, now there are not many cases where there are loopholes, like the case that I quoted just now, the 2022 case. There, because of the case went to court, we saw the loophole. So they have to strengthen that part maybe of the interview. But on online cases, there are not many. I can only find one. So I think there is a need to assure parents and teachers and childcare providers like you all to educate the public on this so that more people will come forward and we can nip everything in the bud. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Datin. I just have one question. Just came to my mind. Let's say for institutions or for schools, we get the permission of the parents to use the child's photograph in our own official website or social media. Yes, we get their permission, but we are still putting this child at risk, right? And what is the moral ethics here? Should we or should we not?
But sometimes you do need to, isn't it? You do need to. Yeah, so, but I think you should get the consent of the parents in writing. Of course, morally and ethically, it's up to you, but make sure it is in writing. Because you can be accused, you say, I say, and there's no consent. So you must make sure you get everything in writing.
What about like, for example, at the library here, they have like public activities, and they take videos to like inform the public of the activities that are here in the library. So how does, if it's a public thing, is this still necessary for consent of parents?
The parents
As far as I concern lah, public place like government apa kan, kita tidak dibenarkan ambil gambar lah ataupun rekaman video kecuali dengan kebenaran. Ya, event. For library, director of library lah. For pendidikan, director of pendidikan. Just like that.
can still take with the permission of the school. Like there's a school activity, and they post themselves, the schools, of their activities. So actually implied permission already lah.
But the school must first get permission from the parents, right? For the school. For big activities,
Won't be able to get individual permission. So what you do is from, like he said, from the institution, lah. Yeah. And then, I mean, the parents will be notified that there's this function, this sports day, isn't it? So those are allowed, lah. The principal would give permission.
just to clarify. Otherwise, we are like very rigid. Oh, this one must get permission. This one, right? Yeah, and then it makes things even more complicated, right? So I think for schools and institutions, perhaps it's also good to think about and actually select the photos that or the videos that you will use for your publicity purposes, and not just ad hoc and everything. Just use everything, just throw everything there, and like whatever is useful, just hantam lah, the word kan. So perhaps when we are trying to put something for the purpose of publicity or an objective to promote certain values or projects or for educational purposes, I think it should be thought through what exactly you want to put there, and actually think through how you are going to use this photo or video. Is that right, Datin?
If there's no complaint, then you're fine. But there can be one parent who is like unhappy and come to you. So to be safe, you get permission. Especially if you use the photo without any function or anything, without the principal's permission as well, there's a function there. So,
But there is also another probability that, let's say, the school shares photo within a controlled, like let's say a parent telegram, but the parent themselves take the photo and post it up in their own social media, right?
that's the parents.
Yes.
That's the parents.
So it's very hard to like ensure 100%. Yeah, we
cannot be
cannot.
100%.
Yeah. But at least the first thing, we must be aware of what our actions, the consequence of our actions in the what we do now and the repercussions maybe 10 years later or 5 years or, not even 5 years, in 10 minutes later. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second later, that's even scarier. Right, so moving on, we will go to Encik Azlan. He's with Education Department. So recently, for the Tadikas, we have received a circular that has directed us to get signed parental consent for the sharing of videos or photos of students on their own kindergarten Tadika social media. Can you please explain to us a bit more in detail of the contents of this circular and what it means?
Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang. Salam Malaysia Madani. Okay, untuk pengetahuan saya adalah pegawai unit swasta bagi PPDKK. Okay, pegawai unit swasta ni yang bertanggungjawab ke atas institusi-institusi swasta lah. Seperti tadika swasta, sekolah swasta, pusat tuition, pusat perkembangan minda, semualah yang swasta. Kecuali hospital swasta bukan. Jadi yang semua berkaitan pendidikan swasta di bawah tanggungjawab saya. Begitu juga berkaitan dengan aduan-aduan terhadap sekolah ataupun institusi swasta, semuanya di bawah saya lah. Okay. Jadi untuk perkongsian saya tiada slide untuk saya kongsikan. Sebab untuk aduan kami adalah fail rahsia, kami tidak boleh kongsi. Okay. Seperti yang Puan tadi ada sebut pasal yang sharing daripada media sosial semua tu. Untuk pendidikan kami juga ada aduan kami sendiri, kami ada pegawai aduan kami sendiri dan mungkin di MCMC dia kurang report di sana. Mungkin dia direct report kepada bagian pendidikan lah. Okay, di pendidikan kita ada 3 cara kita boleh buat aduan. Itu secara bersemuka, kedua secara bertulis, ketiga adalah melalui aduan sispa lah. Sispa kita isi di online saja. Jadi ini kita tidak akan reveal lah siapa yang bagi maklumat lah tadi. Okay. Kita tidak akan bertindak jika tiada aduan. Itu yang kita punya proses cara kerja lah. Okay. Untuk SPI baru, surat pekeliling istisas baru yang dikeluarkan oleh KPM tu berkaitan surat kebenaran daripada ibu bapa untuk mengambil gambar kanak-kanak di sekolah ataupun di premis-premis pendidikan, bertujuan adalah melindungi guru itu sendiri juga dan juga murid-murid yang berada di sekolah lah daripada sebarang-sebarang ancaman yang mungkin berlaku. Okay. Sebenarnya akta mengenai ataupun SPI mengenai media sosial ni sudah ada sebelum ni, sudah pendidikan keluarkan pada 2023. Cuma ini ada penambahbaikan iaitu surat kebenaran dari ibu bapa saja. Dan surat ini perlu diisi setahun-setahun oleh ibu bapa lah. Okay, maksud dia untuk tahun ni surat tu habis 31st Disember kan, habis next year kena bagi ibu bapa balik. Dan surat ni akan disimpan di sekolah, bukan hantar kepada pendidikan lah. Maksudnya nanti kalau ada report, pendidikan akan turun ke sekolah, lihat surat kebenaran ibu bapa ni tadilah. Jika tiada surat kebenaran dari ibu bapa untuk anak dia diambil gambar ataupun video, sekolah mungkin boleh diambil tindakan lah tadi. Okay. Sebenarnya ada kebaikan dan keburukan juga lah yang ambil gambar ni. Cuma, yalah macam tadika kan, tadika swasta ada 20 murid. Kalau 19 dibagi kebenaran ambil gambar, seorang tidak, nanti kesian juga. Jadi, tapi itu kita tidak boleh buat apa-apalah. Mungkin satu, kita terpaksa kasih blur muka murid tu tadi, budak tadi, ataupun tidak boleh ikut bergambar lah, itu saja. Sebab, ya, dia sudah termaktub dalam kebenaran ibu bapa tu kan, kita tidak boleh buat apa, kita tidak boleh paksa dia ikut ambil gambar walaupun berkumpulan, sebab melalui consent letter tu adalah surat kebenaran dari ibu bapa dia sendiri. Jika dia tidak mau anak dia diambil gambar, kita tidak boleh buat apa-apa lah. Okay. Begitu juga bagi kami lah, kalau kami pun selalu ke sekolah, kalau yang sudah biasa tu, kalau macam saya unit swasta, kami tidak akan ambil gambar budak secara berdepan. Maksudnya beginilah, kami akan ambil gambar kepala saja, dari belakang, gambar tangan, kaki, asal ada gambar saja. Kita tidak akan ambil gambar full face lah selalunya. Kalau ada pertanyaan boleh tanya. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, Ijazan. Let's say, that means kalau sekolah itu, tadika itu ambil tindakan untuk lakukan ini, in case ada aduan, he's safe lah.
Ya,
Let's say the tadika didn't do this, tiada aduan, also nothing happen kan. But MOE, Jabatan KPM tidak akan turun cek ini,
akan turunlah cek.
cek juga.
Ya.
So,
Biasa ada aduan lah. Kalau aduan kami akan turun. Tiada aduan, tiada lah.
so I think this is the part where we want kindergarten operator or childcare operators or any institution to think about child safety. Jangan tunggu atasan suruh baru buat. So it is a proactive action on our part because it is a concern that we have for the children under our care. I think this attitude, we need to educate everybody to have this kind of attitude towards child safeguarding. Jangan tunggu sampai something happen, then come the law, come this, come that, come all this, terpaksa buat ini, because of this that happened. So, what we are wanting to bring awareness is so that semua di sini, tidak kira you are in management or you're just a teacher or just a caregiver or working in the library, a librarian, we all have this responsibility to look out for the well-being and safety of all the children that is within our perimeter, kan? So this is something we have to change in our mindset. It doesn't start with the law, baru turun to change our mindset. We have to start with ourselves, awareness. Then I think hand in hand the law is to help if anything happen, we ikut itu jalan. But at the other end, we do prevention. So if everybody is working together, we are looking out for children around us, then I think we can say we are helping to safeguard our children and their future. So I have one more question for all the panelists. Like we have laws in place, as Datin Mary said, but maybe there's a gap, kan, for it to be effectively empowered. Because ada perpetrator got charged but terlepas. Right, they didn't get, because not enough evidence maybe. And the case got dismissed. Okay, and who is the victim here now? The child is going to live with all the emotional and stress and even the family. Because kena viral already, everybody knows the face already. And then even let's say this child 20 years later want to jadi next YB. And the opposition go and correct. Got any dirt on this kid, right? This person. Because social media, all this thing go up. As Cik Nadia said, they cannot take it down, no? It's there forever. Kan? You cannot ask, MCMC also cannot take it down. Yeah.
Hello. Sekiranya dia melibatkan child, we will assist any law enforcement agencies or any parents or mana-mana ni untuk inform to the administrator of all the media social to remove the content. Even Facebook, one of their punya terms and condition, if it's about child abuse, child porno or terrorism, they will definitely delete the content within 24 hours, not less than 24 hours.
So if let's say I post something I delete from my social media, is it deleted?
Sorry, meaning?
If I post something, I delete it myself,
Yeah,
is it totally deleted?
depends. Depends lah. Sometimes ada orang capture kan. Maybe sometimes orang share the posting that you post before you delete it. But it depends. Kalau in 1 second you delete
So there's
it, then-
one little window of opportunity
yeah, in 1
that
second.
it is not totally deleted lah.
Yeah,
Depends on your timing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a scary thought.
yes.
So my last question, actually to round up, is we have the law, we have things in place, you know. What do you think now is the key solution to ensure child safety when it comes to social media? So what proactive steps we can take as teachers, public, or educators, child caregivers, to safeguard our children on social media? Anybody like to go first?
I think it starts with the parents first. Parents they need to be educated. Like, most of the postings are done by parents. And then, of course, the childcare providers they know their limits, what to post and what not to post. And like Inche said, you all have to get permission. If there's an adwan, then action will be taken. So I think we have to start with the parents to be safe.
Definitely parents play a role. So we also have to educate the parents, make them aware of the dangers, right? Of just posting one picture in the social media and how the consequences can be a positive one, but it also can be a negative one. Yeah. And which
The other thing I think is, outside, is to make the reporting procedure easier. So, like you see, Sabah got no cases. Yeah.
one
So
last
people
year.
don't want to come forward because of the reporting procedure. And sometimes they get frustrated because no action is taken. So they'll say, tidak guna juga saya pergi buat report. So that's another thing you have to look at.
But I think also maybe they are not aware of where they can go, because MCMC has a portal. We can also go report to CISPA and then go report, go to police again. So it's like, which one you tackle first, right? So in the end, maybe they just keep quiet lah. Too difficult.
Quite difficult. Actually, I have personally experienced cyberbullying. Not as a child, I'm an adult. And there was one person trying to extort money from me. He used like many vulgar words on social media in respect of me. I went to police several times, MCMC as well. Nothing happened. I was in and out for 2.5 years. Nothing happened. The one that the police wanted to take action, the same posting, it seems MCMC wanted to take action. So MCMC let go to the police. And then when we called, I'm a lawyer, so we called we called the investigating officer. He said, send to the DPP already. MCMC said, police is taking, so we are not doing anything. DPP sent to KL for kajian. So, no action taken. Sent for kajian. But the words he used against me are really very, very bad. There were about 20 or 30 instances where he used it, and postings also maybe about 20 or 30, but nothing happened. So the only thing, the last time he made a threat against me with someone's phone. He threatened to pour acid on my face. So that's when the police took action, but I don't know, unfortunately for him, he passed away lah. So I didn't get anything done. I'm a lawyer, and nothing happened. The authorities didn't help me for about 3 years. So these parents, I hope the authorities are more friendly lah. So actually, I am one of the, I've experienced it personally.
Yeah, that's very, it's quite emotionally draining, right?
To say, if I didn't have the support of my office, my staff, my husband, my family, if it was a young girl, that person would have committed suicide. And then it's too late. You cannot help. Young girl, she has nowhere to turn to. At the end, I had to take an injunction. Even that didn't work because he was only afraid of the authorities. I got damages, but nothing. He just continued doing it. So there are people, and I see people are still doing it to others in social media. The latest case is Isha, for example. And I did, after Isha's case, I did contact the minister and I did tell him my experience because I met him at one of the functions and I did tell him my experience. So I think the government authorities have to be more people-friendly.
People friendly. If not, we are not coming here. Then. Yeah, I'm just telling my experience. Yeah.
It was very bad.
Yes. AZLAN and or from MCMC, anything you want to add on for what we can do?
I agree with DATIN. Parents, it started from home actually. Yeah, from home and then to schools and to public. And what MCMC did since 2012, kami ada satu program yang klik dengan bijak. We go to not every school. We go to school. We go to parents to give awareness and awareness on how to klik dengan bijak di internet. So yang paling penting is jangan kongsi, tidak terlebih kongsi. Make sure your media social set to privacy setting. Don't share your phone number, your address, your home address, even your school nama sekolah atau address sekolah pun jangan share sebab all this information will guide to yang lagi teruk lah. So, this is my advice lah. Yeah. You can add.
Dari saya daripada seorang pendidik kepada pendidik lain lah. Younger pendidik baru. Kalau mau post keadaan di sekolah ataupun tadika di kawasan sendiri tu kena lihat situasi lah. Kadang-kadang kalau kita post tu kan, terutama yang ladies lah selalu kan. Kalau main TikTok tu selalu kita tengok sama murid-murid kasih bawah depan. Lelaki jarang lah, ini selalu perempuan selalu nih. Jadi please lah. Terutamanya sekarang nih kita mesti ada surat tuh kebenaran tuh kan. Takut nanti ada parents komplain, dia bilang saya belum sign tuh. Tapi anak saya sudah di TikTok sama Cikgu Menari. Nah, jadi itu take note lah. Jadi macam di sekolah pun sama juga. Sebenarnya tidak dibenarkan mengambil gambar budak dan bawa begitu tuh. Tapi itulah. Nah, kalau sekolah harian bukan saya lah, saya yang kamu nih. So, ya, itulah kehendak semasa. Tapi sebenarnya tidak boleh lah kita sharing gambar budak-budak tuh kan. Sebab takut dia misinterpret bah. Terutama yang macam miskin tuh, kasihan budak nih kita kasih duit. Jadi sebenarnya parent dia ada duit saja pun. Tapi terlupa bagi duit kan, nanti anak kau ini tidak ada duit pula nih, kasihan nih miskin. Jadi lain sudah pandangan kan. Jadi itulah. Sama juga tadika swasta, saya harap tidak report lah. Cukup lah report tahun ini. Sajalah, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So actually as a cikgu, we need to be aware also. TikTok memang syok lah kan? Syok. The children also enjoy, but they wouldn't know, what you know. So I think it is also important that for schools or institutions to have a child protection policy. And this child protection policy is a policy that everybody in that institution must follow. So if in the policy it says no TikTok, no sharing on your own social media, then the teacher have to comply lah. So with that, we can actually do some proactive measures to safeguard children in our care. So child protection policy, as I know, not many schools have it. International schools is compulsory, but all others, it is not really a made compulsory. But I think it is something to think about, so that together, as professionals, we are doing proactive, we are practicing good practices to safeguard children in our care. So as a summary, as we can hear, there are laws, but sometimes the law may not help us when needed. Kan? We have helplines, we have talian aduan, but it's not being utilized. Sabah only one case last year. Right? So what is wrong here is that lack of awareness. I think we have a lack of awareness for parents, for teachers or educators, or even the society at large. So we need to work hard on this, bringing awareness, advocate for child safeguarding all the time within your own family also. Because if we look at child sexual abuse, most of the cases, the abuser is a relative or a person in the family. It's not a stranger. So we need to really work on awareness. So if we can, all these who are here, all of you who are here, we already covered maybe 30%. If you go and tell another 5 more % about what you heard today, 30 times 5, how much? How many? 150. And we have online, I don't know how many are online. And if they also do the same, we can slowly, bring the message across to more and more people. And each of you, some of you come from Tadika. You go back, you have other colleagues, you also tell them. And you have parents in your kindergarten, right? You can educate the parent. So the repercussions can, you say 1 second there's a perpetrator, 1 second we also can tell others about this. Every second one person is telling another and bringing awareness on child safeguarding. The ripple effect can be the same as the one that is negative. It can be a positive ripple effect also. But how this can happen? You and me, you and I. It's up to you and I. So now you have heard what we've discussed. Now you have the responsibility, right? Like in the Spider-Man movie, right? You have power, but you have responsibility. Our words have power. Our little finger click also have power, right? But we better click and use it with full responsibility. Yeah? Klik dengan bijak. That's the slogan, kan? Ya, klik dengan, sebelum kamu klik, fikir dulu. Baguskah saya klik send kan ni, or don't post? Post or don't post? Right? Did I get permission to post this? Yeah. So I think this is a start. We can start. We don't want Sabah to have so much aduan that supersedes the rest lah. Right now, but yet we know no aduan does not mean nothing happened. It's still happening. It's just we didn't see. It is not on paper, but it's happening. Yeah, it could be happening. See, my neighbor here sit next to me, happened to her, right? So we all have to activate our and exercise our responsibility to tell others about this. Do I have yes? Okay, we need it recorded. Ya. Tidak cukup kuat. Mesti kuat sikit. Can I have your support? Yes. Together we can bring more awareness to those around us. So thank you for our panelists for your time here. And I think we had a good informative discussion. At least we leave here being more, knowledgeable about this topic, child safeguarding on social media, and our legal responsibilities that we have as a adult, a human being in Sabah, in Malaysia, to those around us. So can we give all the panelists a round of applause? And I hand it back to
So, do we have any questions from the floor? Ada apa-apa soalan daripada hadirin sebelum bersurai? Any question from online? No? Okay, semua jelas kan? So, thank you our panelists and thank you Sonia. I hope every participants gain insights of safeguarding children online and practice safe conducts in protecting children in social media. Remember from MCMC, klik dengan bijak. So now let's invite our panelists to receive our token of appreciation. Yeah. So, no question. Semua mau balik awal. Okay, our first panelist, Encik AZLAN Muhammad ZAINAL. Our second panelist, DATIN. Oh, wait a little bit. Please, participants, please stay for a while. We'll take photo. All right. Video. Yes. Our second panelist, DATIN Mary. And our panelists, oh, okay. Yeah, Cik Nadia Yusuf. So thank you again to our panelists and to everyone for joining our forum today. This is the second forum we conducted in a child safeguarding initiative, and I hope to see the same and more faces to come in our next program. This won't be the last, but definitely one of the first. We also would like to especially express our gratitude to Sabah State Library for sharing their facilities for our event today. All right, now let's invite our panelists for a photo session. I think just stand there. Yeah. Oops.
Salamat.